Welcome to this episode of DIY3DTech.com. In this episode, we're going to be doing a bit of an unboxing of this new 3D printer we got from, it's covered up here a little bit, but Gearbest. So my friends over at Gearbest, Yvonne, wrote me and said, hey, look at, you got a ton of models out there out on Thingiverse, you know, over 120 models. You're doing a lot with the Creality CR-10. We've got some other newer large-scale, high-precision 3D printers in. You know, take a look. We'll send you one to review and see how you like it versus, you know, say the CR-10, which I got my CR-10 from them, and I love them. But, you know, I think there are alternatives out there, too, and that's what I want to explore with this from Gearbest. So this is the Tronxy X5S. Now this guy is bigger. This is, I think, 300 by 300. Sorry, 330. I'm going to correct myself. 330 by 330 by, I think, 400. So I'll have the down below the exact because it's over on the computer on the other side of the room. But the neat thing about this is, unlike the Creality CR-10, whose bed moves back and forth, this bed moves up and down. Critical importance, especially when you're printing a large object. You don't want that object being shaken back and forth. And that's why I really want to take a look at this guy. Now, I don't know how much assembly. The Creality comes pretty well assembled, and I'm thinking that's probably not the case with this guy. I think there's going to be more assembly, but I'll tell you what, I don't know. So this is the first for me. So sort of like Al Capone's vault with Geraldo Rivera. Let's go ahead and open this up. Maybe it'll be a non-event. Maybe it'll be a big event. But I'm excited. I really love my CR-10, and I really think that's been sort of the new standard out there for printers because of the size, you know. And as I knock stuff over behind me, because this is a big box and it's heavy. Sorry for bumping you guys. I might have to move things a little bit just to, because this is a big box. And I think I got the correct side up, but I'm not sure. And wow, all right, no, I didn't get the right side up. I got the wrong side up. So what looks like the right side up is the wrong side up. So here's what we have so far. Let me, so here's the controller, fan. It looks pretty much like a tarantula kit. So let me move this out. Let's see what's inside here. So yeah, I think there's going to be a fair amount of assembly. Not too bad. I like that they've already assembled the carriages with the wheels, so you don't have to do that. That looks pretty much in place. The hot end is assembled, so that's a good thing. The cable chain's in place. We got a ton of belts to put on. That's one thing, because the head does move both in X and Y, while the bed moves up and down in Z. It does have a lot of belts, so I think that'll be interesting. There does also appear to be the bed under here. Let me go ahead and take some of this stuff out and get this on the actual bench, and then let's take a look at it. Okay, so here we are. Now, I'm going to be upfront with you guys. I can't get it all on my bench here, and this is a 2-foot by 4-foot area. This thing is big. I want to show you guys the heated bed. It does come with a heated bed. This thing is huge. Wow. And it does appear to be a DC heated bed, and wow, this is big. I definitely think I'm going to insulate this before I put it together. Now here's the power supply to this monster, and this is a fairly good power supply. So it's 110, 220. It's actually set for 220. I've got to flip that over to 110. I'm just looking to see if anywhere jumps out what the wattage is. Oh, here we go. I think so. So this is a 30 amp output. 12 volt 30 amp. This is a big power supply, folks. Man, because it's got a big bed to drive. And also, this does have two steppers, obviously, if I get this in here, 2 steppers for the bed to raise and lower the bed, unlike the Creality, which has a single one to raise the gantry. So, but definitely moving this big of a piece of material is interesting. Now, it does look like it comes with a sheet of PEI or something, some kind of plastic. It's rather thick, and look at this piece of tape. Is that, whoops, sorry for bumping you guys. This thing is just so big. I can't, look at this piece of tape. This is a piece of tape, folks. One piece of tape. Did you know they made a piece of tape that big? I'm blown away. Wow. So this thing is definitely pretty large. I like the overall part composition. There's a few pieces that look kind of a little bit wanky with the washers and the bearings, but the extruder, very nice. I like the gearing, all metal, no plastic like the Creality. And then I'm knocking the Creality. I'm just comparing the Creality because I love my Creality, and it's not going anywhere. But I think this could be interesting because they advertise this as high precision, and that's what I'm really interested in getting at. Is this thing is built like a brick house that starts with an S. I can't think of the name of it, but you guys get the picture. Anyways, because I mean, look at the massive amount of maker rail over here, and this doesn't even cover it all. So there are huge amounts of maker rail. I think this is going to be a pretty good sized project to build. If you've done a printer before, I don't think everything looks pretty straightforward. If for example, I've done a video on the Tarantula, and I've built the 2-up before this, and I've built a couple kind of standalones, and so I built printers before. So if you built printer before, nothing here looks out of the norm. And actually, most of the more delicate parts are in place. For example, don't drop it, Joe. I've kind of shown. This hot end assembly with it comes with a layer fan, as well as a really capable, looks like about 50mm cooling fan. I like the configuration here. It's got the switches, and it's all wired, as you can see here, to be attached or clipped in to whatever it clips into. There's, like I say, I couldn't even get all this stuff on the bench. So there's more wires and connectors. I didn't put the wires and connectors up here. I just kind of wanted you to see the various pieces. It does have a control, the atypical, control knob and LCD and everything, reset button that plugs in here. Now, it's supposed to take an SD card, but I don't see an SD card. You see here, it shows we're supposed to be something with an SD card, but I don't see anything with an SD card, so I'll have to do a little bit more looking to see how that goes together, because I don't see, unless the SD card, looks like there's an SD card on here for a micro SD card on the control board. So this is a Tronxy control board, www.tronxy.com. Chuck Hellebuck is better at calling out these boards than I do, but this looks very similar to what's in the Tarantula. Just kind of looking at things. So we got the standard for the hot end, the power, all the standard stuffs. So that looks pretty good, pretty straightforward. USB input, and obviously your 2 cables go from here to the back of here to drive the display. So that's good that it does have the card, because that was one of the reasons. Because one of the things when I did pick this one, I wanted something that could stand up to the Creality and was in a similar price range. Now there's a flash sale, and I have links below, and I have run cards up here for $359, I think. Which I think is a great deal for everything you get. $359 for a printer that's bigger than the Creality, and that's also I think sturdier than the Creality, because this, you know, I've had some, you know, screenshots up there, and you can see it on the website. You know, this is like a cube. This is like a big cube, and that's what I really like about it. Because if I want to also put sides or something like that on it in the future, I can do that. And I think that's pretty cool. Where I can't do that really with the Creality, because it's pretty much just an open frame. So I'm pretty excited about getting ahead with this build. So I'm going to do some, I don't think I'm going to do a complete, you know, here's how you build a tutorial. I think I'm going to do a little bit like the Tarantula, where I get to certain stages, and or like the desktop CNC, I get to certain stages, and I'll share with you guys how I got to that stage and maybe some gotchas. You know, because I'm going to assume if you're going to take on a kit this size, that you have some mechanical abilities, that either A, you have some decent mechanical abilities, B, you've already built a 3D printer before, because this is far less assembled than the Creality, but still very exciting, and also very straightforward. I don't want to sound intimidating about it, but you know, it is a Chinese kit, and you're going to have to figure out A bolts to B and such forth. So you're going to kind of need to understand the workings, but everything looks pretty quality here. So this is what I'm excited about, because if I've got quality pieces to work with, I can get this thing put together and I can get it running, and it'll print sweet, you know, because just like with the Tarantula, I love that little printer. You know, it was pretty much all quality, even though it was simple. Went together fairly nice. A few bumps trying to figure out A to B, but made it. And I think that'll be the same with this one, and I'm very excited about it. So I want to thank my friends Yvonne over at Gearbest for sending this, and look for a lot of stuff coming out of this. So we're going to do some larger prints with this, and we're going to see how this does, and we're also going to see what kind of precision, and I'm going to try to get some more stuff up on Thingiverse too, because again, I'm really excited about having this printer and the size of things I can print. Now I've got another 30 by 30 millimeters, so that's a pretty good jump in size over the CR-10. So I'm excited to see how that does. And again, with this massive piece of tape, as you can see, I'm still blown away. I'd love to see the roll of tape this came off of. But you know, I mean, I want to see something here before I let you guys go. Hang on a second. So if I look at this diagonally, I'm at almost 18 inches diagonally on this big piece of tape. And if I measure this bed, I'm over 18 inches. So, I mean, I have, let's look at this again. I want to, man, it's a lot of stuff here. I'm excited to get going on this. So this is about 13 inches by, should be about 13 inches. So in short, what I'm getting at is one of my goals has been to get basically a 14-inch piece, and I think I can probably get that, because one of the things I want to do is create some custom moldings, if you will, out of wood PLA that I can paint and stain. And they don't have to be too wide, but they do need to be about 14 inches long. And it really is looking like I could get away with it, because, you know, here's the end and here's 14 inches. So, and then, you know, my width, I can probably get away with that here, or maybe even get a little bit longer. Ideally, I'd like to get to 16, and I might even be able to make it to 16 with a piece of molding that's about yay wide. So, yay's a Michigan term, I think, if you're wondering. But anyways, I'm excited about this to get working on it, and I'm kind of curious to see, and I'll keep you guys updated through the build process of this, what I find out. So if you guys are interested in building it, you have a little one-up on it, because I'll have built it and documented it. Also, links for this will be below if you're interested in it. Go check it out. And again, thanks to Gearbest, and we'll see you guys in the next video when I start building it. Cheers!
Please click like below and subscribe to the channel.